week's installment of Whatever Happened To. If you own a phone, you've likely received a robocall, probably dozens of them. And even though the federal government tried to crack down, those calls are still the #1 consumer complaint to the FCC. So whatever happened to the do not call list? Correspondent Jackie Heinrich takes a look.
If you ever wondered if it's just you, it's not.
I get the same phone call 11 o'clock at night from the same number every single day.
Americans are inundated with robocalls, now the #1 complaint to the Federal Communications Commission. Scammers use ploys like health insurance sales and free vacations to steal your identity and your cash.
Hi, this is Jessica calling with the funding department at the Business Loan Center.
Legislators tried to tackle it with the do not call list in 2003, but violators weren't fazed by civil fines. Now a bill, first introduced last year, is getting a second look in the Senate, and it promises criminal punishment for the first time.
Paying the fines is basically a cost of doing business. I mean, they built it into their business plan, their business model, and I think the only way you're going to get their attention, one, is to make these penalties really hurt.
South Dakota Senator John Thune, a co-sponsor of the Telephone Robocall Abuse Criminal Enforcement and Deterrence Act, or TRACED Act, says the change can't come soon enough. In 2018, there were 48 billion robocalls to mobile phones, a near 60% increase from the year before, according to software company Umail. Another company, First Orion, says this year will be worse. Nearly half the time your cell phone rings, it will be a scammer. The bill targets people like Adrian Abramovich, who developed a program federal regulators say made 97 million robocalls in 3 months in 2016.
How would consumers stop these calls? Can they say stop?
No.
Abramovich earned the biggest ever FCC fine, but got no jail time, even though his calls overwhelmed an emergency medical paging service.
I think if there were the threat of criminal prosecution, it would probably change his behavior.
This week, Verizon announced a free spam filter subscribers can download. The TRACED Act would require all carriers to adopt similar authentication technology. The bill has bipartisan support and the backing of attorneys general from all 50 states. It could come up for a vote in a few weeks. Brett?